Fellas, AC here. Happy New Year. Hope your new year has started beautifully. And at the start of the new year, I wanted to do, very first review of 2019. I wanted to do a fantastic fragrance. And here's one. Boucheron Jaipur EDP. I already have the EDT. I haven't reviewed it. EDP is what I'm reviewing today. And frankly, even before I start, I'd like to tell you that this is basically a niche quality fragrance at throwaway prices. And this is also one of those fragrances which is a timeless classic. So let's start. This was launched in 1997. I'll go another one. I love this fragrance. Excuse me. The parfumeur for this one is Anik Minado. She is basically from the top tier of, perfumeurs who are well acclaimed for their work. So, before I get into the review, I'd like to show you something. Look at the bottle shape and the presentation. Yeah, and keep that in mind. Now let me show you images of some Indian temples. Well, let's pick one of the most famous ones, which is also based in Jaipur. Now, if you look at the image of the temple, it's like a pentagram. This one is exactly like that. So there's this correlation between Indian culture and this fragrance. The inspiration for this fragrance is supposed to be the gardens of the city of Jaipur. Now, Jaipur is basically the capital of the westernmost province of India, which is very close to Pakistan. These people are very ancient warrior clan. They've been there. They can trace their roots back to about 5,000 years. They're known as Rajputs. That's why the name of the place is called Rajasthan. These people are sort of very strong. Obviously, warrior clan have very high levels of discipline and virtue. But when you speak to them, they're very demure, shy, very well mannered, extremely welcoming. And the fragrance has those qualities as well. So a little bit about Jaipur. Now, Jaipur is a tourist city because of its massive lakes, gardens and palaces. But there is this one fort in Jaipur which dominates the whole city. It's known as the Amer Garh Fort. Amer is the name of the place, Garh means fort, so Amer Garh. And Amer Garh has this beautiful little lake which has got a beautiful garden as well, where the Maharaja tried to grow some saffron way back. But as you know, saffron grows in very cold climate, so it failed. But that tradition of having beautiful gardens is stuck. And Jaipur is, like many other things, is famous for its beautiful gardens. So how does this fragrance start off? I want to tell you all those things because you will find similarities from those things into this fragrance. Number one, when you walk in in a garden, you will smell something which would be like moist earth, if it's been watered, something herbal, vegetable-like, and greenish. This fragrance starts off like that. It has got a huge dose of bergamot, lemon, and lime. Lime is the one I smell the most in the EDP version. Along with that, imagine the garden is an enclosed garden, and in the courtyard somebody is cooking something. So this is the most interesting aspect about this fragrance. It's like the beginning will completely, sort of attract you, because you very rarely would smell something like this. It smells natural, smells like herbal, green and lemony stuff. But within the first few minutes, you'll get a beautiful dose of vanilla. Excuse me. Now, vanilla has been implemented in this fragrance in two stages. At the top is heliotrope, which has this almond-like vanilla smell, which is hazy. The fragrance is hazy. So the haziness of the fragrance is joined, excuse me, by a couple of florals, rose and jasmine. Rose is most evident, but way in the background. The lemony vanilla with spices. The couple of spices that I smell right up are nutmeg and cinnamon, but they are receded. What you get is a lemony vanilla, which is hazy, with some spices. Nutmeg and cinnamon only if you really focus hard. So the opening itself, the moment you spray it, you will be sold on the idea, because this kind of perfumery is almost impossible for 35 pounds. Yeah, this is what I would expect an amouage to do. It's got multiple layers, it's very rich. I wouldn't say it's very complex, but it's very, very rich. And that's what amouage does. So this is basically in that kind of a genre, category, classification, if you like. And the reason I draw the parallel to amouage is because amouage also does orientals, and mostly does orientals. This one is oriental. But this is where it changes. After about 1 hour, this is about 1.5 hours dry down. The sweetness comes in. And that sweetness is coming from vanilla, the real vanilla. There's also a layer of vanilla. And along with the vanilla, there's this beautiful myrrh-like note. Myrrh is slightly smoky, slightly sweet, slightly green floral kind of a scent. And it's one of my favorite notes. And I can smell myrrh here. The lemoniness has gone down, but the freshness and soapiness has come up. There's a note of patchouli, which is the reason this is slightly soapy, slightly manly. And there is this nutmeg. Nutmeg gives this creamy richness and at the same time freshness. So you got spicy, fresh, and slightly floral scent with reduced lemoniness, increased sweetness. In about 6 to 7 hours, this fragrance will lose all its sweetness. And what it will transform into is a very aromatic, spicy scent. And the spices are cinnamon, vanilla, and nutmeg. So that's how and it's woody and dry. Yeah, it's not dry here, but after about 6 to 7 hours, it'll be very dry, aromatic, dry, beautiful, spicy. So that's the journey of the fragrance. Now, pros and cons. Number one pro is the quality of the fragrance that you're getting. Superb blending, great conceptualization, a beautiful presentation, and a beautiful result, a scent that'll just impress you every time you spray this on. I've got huge amounts of experience with this fragrance. I'm never bored of it. So that's number one, the quality of the composition. And that's why I call it a niche quality fragrance. Number two is the value for money. You have to pay 30 to 35 pounds for 100 ml. You couldn't get a better scent for this kind of money. Number three would be the decent performance. I wouldn't say this is a monster, but I would say this has got a longevity of about 7 to 8 hours. It's got projection, which is mediocre. I'd say about an arm's length or half an arm's length for the entire duration. Initially it might project, but it's not a screamer. And it's got tremendous sillage. I normally wear 4 sprays under my shirt, and that's enough because every time I move, I'm reminded of this beautiful, glorious scent. Number 4 pro would be the image. It creates a very sophisticated and very well-groomed person's image. Yeah, it is slightly aloof, like a garden. Garden, when you view from a distance, it doesn't need anybody. It's there for you. That's the kind of scent. The scent is sort of, I don't need anybody, and whoever wears me will smell amazing. That's the kind of, it doesn't need any personality, any age groups. None of that. It's just a beautiful creation which can be enjoyed by anybody. The 5th, I believe, would be the timelessness. This was released about 20 years ago. Still going strong, still appreciated by one and all. This will continue to be one of the most favorite fragrances, men's fragrances of any age group. So those are the 5, I believe. The downside. Number 1 downside would be the sweetness. This becomes sweeter with time and then loses its sweetness. But people who don't like sweet fragrances may not like it. Number 2 would be the spiciness. There's a note of clove only if you focus. Some people don't like clove, but there are other notes like cinnamon, like nutmeg. There's no cumin here, so thank God for that, because people don't like cumin. So those spicy notes can be a problem if you don't like orientals. So those are the 2. Third limitation, I would say, not a downside, but a limitation would be this is a daytime cold weather fragrance. I wouldn't wear this in hot weather, but a little bit of heat actually brings out the lemony notes. So it's good, but not for hot weather. So those are the three limitations, if you like. In terms of age group, I've touched on that. Occasions, you can wear this in any cold weather occasion. You want to go to work wearing this? No problem. This is such a beautiful and romantic scent. It can be a lovely date night fragrance, especially first dates. When you really want to impress somebody, daytime, you can wear this. You can wear this nighttime as well because vanilla and cinnamon give it the warmth. There's a bit of warmth here. So you can wear this nighttime as well. My preferred time to wear this fragrance is daytime, especially to work or when I'm going to something special for a movie or a nice restaurant. That's when I like to wear this fragrance. So, marks out of 10. Taking everything into account, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. A perfect 10. I couldn't take any marks out. This is one of the best fragrances money can buy when you're on a budget and you want to really smell good. Hope this helps. Take care. Bye-bye.